Guess what, everybody? Someone in Hollywood said something more absolutely moronically stupid. I could probably use a whole bunch of other words for it, but hey, we're just going to talk about the director of Secret Invasion in this article from Enemy, NME, Enemy, Enemy. Huh. Secret Invasion director doesn't feel bad about disappointing rabid Marvel fans. Is it our job to fulfill their expectations? Short answer is yes, you moron. The answer is yes. Stop acting like any member of the audience owes you anything because, oh, you told a story. You got picked to tell the story, so I'm going to tell it the way I want to tell it, and you just have to like it. And if you have any criticism about it, then we're just going to ignore you. We're going to sit there and let everybody pat us on the back, and if you have any criticism, constructive or otherwise, legitimate or otherwise, we're going to ignore you because we're not making movies for you, even though most of the you that they're talking about are the higher value paying customer, the viewer who has been more than willing to carry their butts and their friends' butts and their kids and their moms and their dads and grandparents to the seats, to the theaters, to watch these beloved franchises, unfortunately, completely and totally fall apart. So please forgive me, but you owe the audience. The audience doesn't owe you a thing. And until you figure that out and start, I don't know, creating something the audience is willing to dish out the higher theater ticket prices, then we've got some bad news for you. We're going to go find something better. And it won't be you. Okay, let's get on with the article, because that's a freaking rant, and I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be done. If you had unanimously good reviews, every movie would gross $10 billion trillion, right? No, obviously not. Would you like an example? And this is going to be a bizarre example for at least another year. Look at the Barbie movie. To say the Barbie movie has had mixed reviews, especially online, mixed reviews, and yet that movie is probably going to break $1 billion. Is it going to hit 1.5? I don't know, but I promise you it will not surprise me. Well, maybe it will. I don't know. I can't figure out the movie. But let's move on. But no, good reviews, unanimously good reviews, do not equal a financial success at the box office. Stop saying stupid things. The director behind Secret Invasion has said he doesn't feel bad. Oh no, he doesn't feel bad about garnering some disappointing reviews from rabid Marvel fans. Already putting derogatory terms on a fan who loves the franchise, loves the character of Nick Fury, and is disappointed at how much you butchered his character, destroyed his character, and made him the most insignificant character in the MCU. Going so much as having a speech by Talos to say that Nick Fury would be nothing without the Skrulls. This is intentional writing. The goal of that speech was to destroy Nick Fury as a character. So, I'm sorry. You want to call people rabid fans because they have a problem with that little speech? And in every single episode, you go on another speech about how Nick Fury is just, he's not the same he was before. The blip messed him up. He's got old broken knees, panting and panicking at every turn. Give me a break. This is intentional. This was 100% intentional by the writers and the directors of Disney to disrespect Nick Fury as a character. And yet you want to call those fans who love the franchise, who are still clinging on to that single hope that maybe Disney will turn it around, Marvel will turn it around. You call them rabid fans because they have a problem with your writing. I'm sorry, those rabid fans put money in your pocket. They are the reason you have a job. It's time for you Hollywood narcissists to wake up and realize that's who you're catering to. That's who you owe your livelihoods to. I told you I was going to be going on more than one rant in this video. Having just watched the final installment of the long-awaited, no, I doubt it was long-awaited MC. No, okay, no. I had hope I had hope for Secret Invasion that it would be an interesting story because Samuel L. Jackson, I respected him as an actor, yeah, an adult pretender, whatever you want to call him. I thought maybe, just maybe, they wouldn't let Disney do that to his character, and boy was I wrong. So I was looking forward to it. Long-awaited MCU series air on Disney Plus this week. The sixth and lowest rated. There was 14 reviews. I wouldn't call that all that. I wouldn't call that anything to write home about. The overall score is about a 50-55. Still. Sixth episode of the limited series. It was a movie that was broken up into 6 episodes and filled with filler. Hence the word filled with filler. Ha! Sixth episode of the limited series clocked up a critical rating below 10%. Again, 14 people. However, director Ali Salim has responded and said he doesn't pay attention to reviews. Well, my buddy, that's kind of a catch-22. Maybe you should, maybe you shouldn't, because, again, there are trolls online who are going to sit there and review bomb, legitimately review bomb, one way or another, either positive or negative. So it would be difficult to get a dependable metric for what people think about your show. But not paying attention to them means you're a bit out of touch with what the fans are actually concerned about, what their thoughts are on your product, because you will find quite a few legitimate, constructive reviews in there. So ignoring them completely is probably not a good idea. When asked about a certain amount of backlash to aspects of the MCU series, he says, quote, "I don't know. Is it our job to fulfill their expectations? Expectations to make a coherent story that respects the character that you're showing? Yes, it is your job to fulfill those expectations. Or to tell the story that we're telling. You keep doing that. You continue to tell the story that you want to tell, and that's fine. But you have to understand, you are going to receive the backlash, the criticism, the, cutting the cord, maybe the next project that you do, people don't have faith in your ability to direct, your ability to write, your ability to act, because you say things like this. So they're just not going to go see it. They're going to wait for someone else to go see it and let them know if it's good or bad. So maybe you should rethink that idea. Addressing the fact that much of the 6-part series has garnered mixed responses from viewers and critics alike, Salim said, I don't read reviews. With all due respect, for me, I view all the storytelling work I do as a dialogue with the audience. Well, it was a one-way dialogue because you definitely weren't listening. You were just talking at the audience. I wouldn't call it woke. I wouldn't call it preachy, but man, you just lost touch of what Nick Fury was as a character and why people loved Nick Fury as a character. He continues, when the show is finished and put up on the screen, that's my half of the dialogue, and the audience then starts their half of the response to it. But why would you be interested in the dialogue at all if you're not going to read the reviews anyway? What sort of dialogue? It's a one-way dialogue. I put my stuff up there, and then I'm going to ignore all the reviews. Wow. That's an interesting conversation you're not having with the audience. Addressing the blockbuster nature of a Marvel property, as well as the franchise's loyal fan base. Yeah, well, you're shitting on that loyal fan base, constantly insulting them, calling them names, calling them istophobes and bigots simply because they criticize a particular character here and there. Even though it's constructive criticism, for the most part. I don't feel bad about mixed reviews. If you had, again, here's that quote again, if you had unanimously good reviews, every movie would gross $10 billion trillion, right? Well, we all know that's a hyperbolic statement. Foolishly hyperbolic. Combine those words. Projects resonate with different people at different times for different reasons, and Marvel has a very devoted, even rabid fan base who have expectations, and when their expectations aren't fulfilled, they move in the other direction. They give it the thumbs down. So what you're saying is, if you can't entertain the audience, the fan base that the Marvel product, the MCU, has developed over the years, the decades, if you are unable to entertain them, to fulfill that fantasy, that breaking away from the real world, and showing them the character that they love and putting him in a light that is respectful. So those fans just turn their back on the product. You think that's a good thing? Huh. I don't know. Is it our job to fulfill their expectations? Yes. Or to tell the story? Are you repeating ourselves? So it's a tricky thing. I would love it if everybody loved it. All you had to do was not insult Nick Fury for 6 episodes. All you had to do was not tell Nick Fury that he was absolutely insignificant in the entire MCU if it weren't for the Skrulls, because that is the speech that you gave to Talos in the car. Episode 3. That's what you did. That was intentional. There is no recovery from that. There is nothing that you can recover. There's nothing to recover from that. No. Piss off. I would love it if everybody loved it, but I also don't have that expectation myself, so I feel great about the response to it. So many times. Let's see. Is this last part? Enemy praised the different directions Salim... What? In the 4-star review of the series, Enemy praised the different directions Salim has taken. The review praised the more mature style of storytelling and direction of Secret Invasion, saying it felt like a teenage franchise stepped out into the real world for the first time. Tell me you didn't watch the other movies before Disney came over and bastardized the whole thing without telling me you didn't watch the original series. The original Iron Man wasn't for teenagers. It was a superhero movie for adults. Same thing with Captain America, the First Avenger, and Thor. These weren't little kiddie movies. It wasn't until after Guardians of the Galaxy where every other Marvel product had to have jokes every 5 minutes in it. Oh, so many times. This is almost to be expected. Disney puts out a crap product, whether it's Star Wars, whether it's coming from Lucasfilm, whether it's from the Marvel branch of Disney, and it falls flat on its face. And then you have people, whether it's the stars, the directors, the producers, or whatever, coming out and say, oh, well, you didn't like it because you're a Disneyphobe. You're just a rabid fan that we don't have to live up to your expectations. Do we even have to? And just acting like you're better than anyone else and forgetting, like I said before, forgetting that it's those rabid fans that are responsible for the job you have, whether it's Marvel, whether it's Disney, whether it's Warner Brothers or Illumination. The reason why all these studios make that money is because of those rabid fans that talk about your movies and talk about your stories and everything on the screen, whether it's on the big screen, the small screen, whether it's a video game. Without the fans, you don't have a job. Nobody talks about your product. And if it's good, they talk about it in a positive light, and they talk about it to their friends and their families, and they get more and more people to watch it. In which case, you make more and more money, unless, of course, you're a terrible writer and the studio's withholding money from you. But that's a whole different discussion. Stop disrespecting the fans, and maybe, just maybe, you'll get more positive reviews. Well, no. Stop disrespecting the fans simply because they have criticism. Maybe have a little bit more respect for the characters and the story that you're writing about instead of bastardizing it for your own little message that you want to put forth. Make good stories, and the fans will talk positive about it, and we'll tell all our friends, because that's what we do. We love talking about nerdy shit. We would rather talk positive about it, but you're not giving us the opportunity. All you're doing is putting out garbage tier writing, disrespecting the characters and everything that came before it, so we have no choice. That's what we're going to talk about because that's what you present to us. And what do you do in return? You insult the fan base. So what does the fan base do? They go find something else to be interested in. They go find another show to watch, another little indie movie here and there, maybe one that a YouTuber is creating that I am genuinely excited for. Don't know what to expect. Or some guy on YouTube also decides to make a comic book and becomes massively popular despite all the efforts to make it not so much. But anyway, respect the story. Make good stories. Stop disrespecting the fans. Maybe that should be first. Step 1, stop disrespecting the fans who are critical of the product that you put out. Step 2, write better stories. But hey, let me know what you think in the comments. Sorry for this massive rant, but I'm tired of this crap. Anyway, leave a like, leave a dislike. I appreciate you making it this far nonetheless. Have a good one.